Is taking a high-dose probiotic good or even potentially dangerous? And how much probiotics should you be taking anyway? Hey Wellness Warrior, I'm Dr. Nick Zyrowski, and probiotics are the bacteria that's on our skin and in our gut lining. They're responsible for anything from making vitamins in our body to helping regulate our immune system. Probiotics are incredibly important, and if you're not eating fermented food daily, you should at least be taking a probiotic. And I don't know about you, but for me, my diet is never perfect enough to make sure that I'm eating fermented foods every day, so I highly lean on taking a probiotic. Probiotics are incredibly important in today's world because we don't get enough of them. And the big issue is that gastrointestinal cancers are highly on the rise. They're spiking and considered to be the #1 cancer that you'll have to deal with in the future. And this is terrifying. So here's the thing. Probiotics help nourish and take care of our gut health, so therefore we want to make sure that we're using them. So we're going to look at some of the different signs that would help determine if you could really benefit from some probiotics right now, which everybody can benefit to a certain degree, but here's some signs that say, you got a problem that probiotics could potentially fix. And then we'll talk about how much you should be taking. So let's first talk about antibiotics. If you've taken antibiotics, this wipes out the good bacteria, the bad bacteria, and the biggest problem is that it leaves the door open for opportunistic pathogenic bacteria to thrive in your gut. And this is why anybody who's taking antibiotics, they are going to find that they often have gastrointestinal issues associated with taking them, or some other wild symptoms start to pop up because, as I mentioned, probiotics play an enormous role systemically in your body. So then also if you have acne or skin conditions, this is a big problem. The beauty industry thrives on people who have poor gut health simply because every person who has skin conditions or acne goes to the dermatologist or goes to the store and they buy all these fancy expensive lotions, and the problem is that the problem that they're facing is truly in the gut. And your skin health is a manifestation of your gut health. And taking probiotics is one of the fastest things you can do to start having clearer skin and clear up acne. So these are two signs, hey, you might need some probiotics. Now, brain health. There's something called the gut-brain axis. When your gut health is poor, or your gut is in a very bad place, it affects your brain health. So if you have maybe, some brain fog, or you're dealing with some depression, some issues, well, guess what? Probiotics can actually support your brain health in a big way. Now, digestive disorders, right? We kind of briefly talked about this. Cancers, right? It's on the rise. Well, also, we want to look at things that are just daily issues that people have. IBS, gas, distension and bloating, constipation. All of these things are correlated with the fact that you actually may need to improve the amount of probiotics that you're consuming. Now, autoimmune disorders are important here too, because what happens is most of your immune system is located right in your gut. And we mentioned probiotics improve your gut health. Therefore, if you're dealing with immune system issues or autoimmune issues, probiotics are very good at helping to improve these different disorders. Now, the big question is, how much probiotics should you be taking? And when we look at the research, there's anything from low dose to high dose. Low dose being like 30 billion units to high dose being all the way up to 900 billion. When you look at probiotics, let's say you pick up the bottle and you look at the back of it, it's going to give you a number and then billion, and it's measured in CFUs. This is colony forming units. So when we look at these probiotics, and we look at people who are getting benefit from them, anything in the high dose range was simply people taking it for very short durations, let's say 5 days or 10 days. And I'm talking huge numbers, 200 billion, 300 billion, all the way up to, there was one piece of research where I saw the 900. I was like, wow, that's a lot of probiotics. But you don't need that much. Here's the thing, is if you're somebody who's coming off of an antibiotic, it's beneficial to take some higher doses, but it's not necessary for people to be taking high doses all the time. In fact, unless you're actually being supervised by a doctor, it can get a little bit complicated going into this high dose range. So I'm going to show you what you can actually do to benefit without getting into the high dose stuff where it's complicated. Because there's another factor we also want to take into consideration, and this is quality over quantity. Now, what happens with many probiotics is that you open the bottle, and from the second you open the bottle, they start dying off. You get oxygen in there and they're going to slowly die. And even though you keep them refrigerated, they're still slowly dying off. So here's the thing that we want to do is we want to make sure that we're getting a quality probiotic that isn't all dead. So what I like to use is one that's actually in blister packs, okay? And what I'm going to do is put a link to the probiotic that I use clinically. And yes, this is something that actually comes directly from my clinic, and so I'm just being transparent about that because some people go, oh my gosh, he's trying to sell me something. Yes, I would actually prefer you buy quality probiotics versus ones from the grocery store that are junk. And the reason that these are awesome qualities because each individual pill is individually wrapped. So therefore, every time when you take a probiotic daily, it's like pulling a new one out of a fresh bottle. So therefore, you're getting a high quality probiotic every day. And I'll put a link in the description below. So if we're taking a dose somewhere around 30 billion CFUs and it's high quality, then therefore it's much better than going and taking, 100 billion CFUs of a low quality probiotic. And here's the other thing, is you're better off taking a nice lighter dose every day versus trying to take a monster dose for 5 to 10 days. So if we were to really make this clear to understand, we want to go with a lighter dose around 30 billion CFUs and take it daily, okay? And this is where you're going to get the most benefit from taking probiotics. And I'm telling you, I see all the time people who are suffering from skin conditions, people who are suffering from digestive disorders, start taking probiotics and see an incredible transformation in their health. So if you're not consuming fermented foods every single day, you should look to taking a probiotic as a daily gut maintainer. Back in the day when everybody ate from their garden and they foraged for food, you are far more likely to be out getting probiotics from the soil in the world around you, but this just isn't the case anymore. And in fact, we have something working highly against us in the realm of probiotics. We have foods that are covered with pesticides, cleaned with chemicals that are harsh, and therefore most of the probiotics are totally wiped out by the time that you're getting the food. So therefore, taking probiotics is one of the best ways to improve your health. I take personally 30 billion CFUs daily of the probiotic strength, which I linked in the description below, and that's how I maintain my gut health. If you enjoyed this video, I think you'll like this video right over here next.